Greetings, geeks. Or should we say happy Halloween? Yes, well, we're not quite there yet. We haven't hit October, but as far as Wizards concerned, it's time to put on your costumes and get crazy. Yep. So we talked about it in issue 52. There was actually the annual Wizard Halloween costume contest. This was a very popular video last year. So this time around, we're going to go through it again. We're going to give you our thoughts on these amazing cosplayers. And Michael, I got to tell you, this feels like this is the year where it really took a leap forward.
Yeah, I was skimming through this and I was blown away in comparison to years past. It's like, wow, they really stepped up their game here. And I gotta just point out the irony of the caption, all dressed up with no place to go. It feels very fitting as we come out of this pandemic, and like the last 2 years would have been sort of an all dressed up, no place to go kind of Halloween. Just kind of ironic in my case. But
it does feel that way for sure. Well, let's give a read real quick to Wizards introduction, because they don't have much respect for the cosplayers, the people who are participating here. As we said, this is the 4th annual Wizard Halloween costume contest, and they had to say a lot of freaks this year. After spreading the hundreds of entries we received all over the floor, giggling like schoolgirls and occasionally wincing in fear, we are proud to present the creme de la creme of misfits, freaks, and lunatics. Since we're sure you want to know, everyone who appears on these pages wins a Lady Death Chromium trading card signed by Brian Pulido and Stephen Hughes, a Spider-Man animation acetate signed by Stan Lee, a Warriors of Plasm #1 signed by Jim Shooter, and a comic signed by Dan Jurgens, either Superman, Solar, or Zero Hour. And some folks get all those goodies and much more. But enough of that, we're off.
And nobody got a Shaman's Tears copy?
Oh. I mean, it seems like, yeah, if you could find a copy of Shaman's Tears, then
I have to say, this has got a lot of pages. There's like 8 pages of cosplay here. It's crazy.
Yeah, again, 4 years in a row, and it's just building. People want to win. People want to show off. And again, like, cosplay was just becoming a very big deal. Conventions were becoming a much bigger deal here in the 90s. So starting off here, Michael, who do we have? Do you recognize this character?
Zelit?
Yeah.
Portrayed by Julie Gordon of Panama City, Florida. I do recognize this character. I forget if is it an Image character?
You got that right. Now,
okay.
What book? You're so close.
Oh, is it that that She book?
Nope, not quite. It's Jim Lee. It's a Jim Lee.
I don't know. I forget. It's an Image book and it's Jim Lee?
Yeah, Wildcats, baby.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, wow. I'm having a break. It's late here on the East Coast. I'm tired.
Well, what's crazy about this when you look at it is you realize how like impractical these, like, I don't even know what you call them, spiders' legs. These things that shoot up.
It looks like arachnid. Yeah. It's like if Psylocke and the 8-armed Spider-Man had a baby.
And how could you swing your sword? It would just you would knock into those things over and over again. So looks cool on the page, but not practical in person. Now, next up here, we have a Carnage costume by a kid named Jason Sr. of Weedville, Pennsylvania. The caption says, this great adventure drive-through safari's getting way out of hand. Do you know about the Great Adventure Safari drive-through?
Yes. Six Flags Great Adventure had one in New Jersey. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we had one in my hometown too that closed down before I was born. I heard the horror stories.
I remember once seeing like a giraffe stick their head in somebody's sunroof when we were on the thing. I was like, okay, this is weird. So the next one is Lord Pumpkin by Javier Santos from Perella, California. I don't know who Lord Pumpkin is.
He is from the Ultraverse. He's from
that's why I don't know.
Character who's like this big bad, he was a breakout character from the Ultraverse. People love that Lord Pumpkin. He became the main bad guy on the Ultra Force cartoon series.
Oh, okay.
Mastermind.
Right. Interesting.
Next up here, we have Lady Rawhide. Ooh, a personal favorite of mine. I always thought she was super cool in the Zorro comics. Yes, her
Yes.
costume was revealing, but she was awesome.
I will tell you, when we talked about this in an upcoming episode, I did a deep dive on Lady Rawhide, and the Zorro miniseries is very cool. This character was all over the place. There's like covers of her by so many different artists, and I was just really, I didn't even know this character existed. And I'm like, wow, yeah, I didn't know.
Oh, she had like an Adam Hughes cover that was
Yes,
like
the Adam Hughes cover. Yes, that's the
Yeah.
big one. But what's funny about this is like, this is again the time in comics where I was venturing away from that and heading towards girls, and I was like,
actual girls.
yes,
not the
check out
illustrated
this picture of
girls.
Lady Rawhide. I'm really
Well,
cool.
here, this is a gal named Michelle Alexandra of Columbus, Ohio. And last year, they made a big deal about this gal who played Vampirella, who
Yes.
withheld her last name. She didn't go that far. She's like, fine, let everybody know. Tell them to give me a call, I guess. Because, yeah, she's definitely got the whole attitude going there. But there's somebody else with a little bit more of a somber attitude down here, Michael.
There seems to be a drunken hobgoblin toward the bottom with essentially like grandma's couch covered in a sheet. And this is Ron Bedra from Northwood, Ohio. And I love this take. It's so funny. I mean, the costume is not the best of so far, but the whole setup with the drunkenness is really funny. And like a case of beer on this guy's lap.
Yeah, well, it's hilarious too because the caption says, Venom, Carnage. That's all the kids talk about nowadays. Hey, Oprah's on.
Oprah.
Now, last time around, we actually had a guy who did like 4 different costumes.
Yes.
He was
We
like
had
Spider-Man and Wolverine.
Captain America, a whole bunch of things. Yeah.
I don't know if this is the same guy, but this is the Way Too Much Free Time Award going to John Cremans of Troy, Ohio, who is playing multiple G.I. Joe characters. And lots of, Cobra. You got to have Cobra Commander with the hood and Destro and all that here. But it says here, yo, Joe, when not making the world safe for democracy by posing next to wooden crates and dressing like a doll, John, well, that's pretty much all John does. But for being cool enough to go the extra mile with so many neat creative costumes, he walks off with our special G.I. Joe prize consisting of an army of G.I. Joe action figures, including the Dynamite General Blitz, Combat Sergeant Savage, D-Day, and Jungle Camo D-Day figures, plus the Sergeant Savage P-40 Warhawk with Pilot Sergeant Savage. Whew. Thanks to the good people at Hasbro for their donation of the Kenner G.I. Joe products, and kudos to John for all his work. So he got Sergeant Savage era. Do you even know about that, Michael?
I do know Sergeant Savage, yes.
Your era G.I. Joe that nobody cared about. But
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, poor this guy who was obviously a fan of the classics.
Yes. So the next one we have is Use the Force Wisely Award, and it's a bunch of people in various Star Wars costumes. One is a Tusken Raider by Michael Groves of St. Mary's, Georgia. Then we have a Darth Vader by Henry Hall of Bradenton, Florida. Boba Fett by David Foster of East Eddington, Maine. And then we have Star Warriors, where we've got a Leia, a Stormtrooper, a Darth Vader, a Boba Fett that almost looks like the Hulk in Boba Fett's helmet.
Say, everybody looks great. That poor Boba Fett.
Yeah. And then we have a Luke and a Han, and this is from Hercules, California. The Fett is Sarah Van Winkle. The Darth Vader is Leo Garcia. The Stormtrooper that they listed as Stormy is Tim Kadanoff. The Leia is Linda Cineros. The Luke is Charles Chapman. And the Han is Wolfgang Maul.
Wolfgang! Yeah, but I mean, Star Wars cosplay seemingly in its infancy here, because that other Boba Fett above is so much more impressive, but that's just awesome to see. Now, getting on the DC side of things, we have the Phantom Stranger, Travis Smith from Osceola, Indiana. he says here, I am not governed by the laws of man. I'll burn leaves anytime I want, damn it. Bugger off. So he's just sitting there in front of a barrel with smoke coming out of it. But
the Phantom Stranger, what a deep pull. Like that's a great pull.
Well, when I first flipped the page, I thought it was the Shadow. I got all excited and then I was like, man.
So next we have Bishop by Nathan MacDicken from McLean, Virginia, and it says, "Whoop whoop whoop, Bishop is in the house."
I think I was supposed to be an Arsenio joke because he's got the flat top.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Whoop 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 whoop. Yeah. Oh boy.
He's also got the mullet going in the back, which I love.
Yes,
he's got every detail on this thing down, which is very impressive. But sticking with X-Men and impressive, I mean, we have a Rogue here by Kit Patrick of Panama City, Florida, but the costume was by Brian Parsley. She says, from up here, I can see, hey, what are Logan and Bishop doing in the upstairs bathroom? Whoa, they are mutants. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
I don't know what that means.
I'm not going to dig into that. But this is a very awesome costume, and the posing on the picture, obviously you can see she's just got 1 foot, you know, is sitting on something and lifted up the other. They're shooting from below to get the sky, so it looks like she's flying. So it's a really nice, you know, use of the camera itself to, you know, amplify
pre-Photoshop.
Yeah.
The next one we have is a very like Ninja Turtles 2-esque ManBat.
Yes.
By Keith A. Arborethan from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And it says, yes, smell my most intimate of areas. I'm not going to read the rest.
But that, I mean, this, yeah, like you say, this is like theme park quality costume here.
Yeah, very much so.
Great. On the next page, we have a Cylon. It's Eric Melson from El Sobrante, California. And he says, why do I shop at Walmart? Good question. And then their caption is, watch out for falling prices. But I mean, again, like to have built this out of, I don't know what. I mean, it's very shiny. It's very metallic. He's just got all the pieces are finely crafted. So yeah, he's definitely good with the metal or whatever that is.
Yeah. Or like a good plastic and a really legitimate spray paint that makes it look metallic like that. It was pretty impressive. And again, a Cylon, a deep pull of a Cylon. Like that's some fandom right there. So next we have a Spider-Man by Gregory Beagle of Laurel, Maryland. And it's a pretty good Spider-Man. He's clearly crawling on the ground, but the way they did the camera angle, it looks like he's climbing up a brick wall, even though the bricks are going vertical, which people wouldn't build a house that way or a building, but I digress.
Yeah, Wizard has a pretty funny commentary here on that.
And they say, what odd architecture, vertical bricks, a sidewalk-like wall. I smell Mysterio's hand at this. Really, I do.
Oh, it's great. And then, yeah, there's a Marvel girl. So like the classic Jean Grey look with the green dress and everything, which is just, again, that's a deep pull. That's a fun one to put together. Lisa Caulfield of Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't know what the quote is in reference to, so I'm not going to read it. It doesn't make any sense. She's just talking to Wolverine. I'm like, okay.
Don't bother. Then we drop down to a 90s era Superboy, which for many people is their favorite version of Superboy, the punk Superboy with the leather jacket. This is by Ryan Purvis of Strongsville, Ohio. It's actually a very good pose, very good costume. And the quote here says, hey, honey, nice gams. Oh, why do I have to read these things? Anyway, where you going, baby? Ain't through I'm not reading this stuff.
Hey, it's only fair that some guys get a cat call every now and again, right?
I guess so.
But yeah, that's a pretty cool costume. That must have been a hit at the conventions, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Next up here, we got a little Superman because the babies. Everybody loves the babies. Says first they kill me, then they put me on trial for the destruction of Krypton, and now this. What the hell's wrong with DC? This is little Rob Van Leeuwen of Comstock Park, Michigan. So it's a very cute costume.
That's funny. That is cute. Next we have is Belly of Fear Award by Stephen J. Angeli from Fremont, California. There's no comment. They
literally say no comment.
Yeah. It's just I guess it's the clown from Spawn.
Yeah.
But like I don't fully understand. He's got the clown makeup on his face, but otherwise he looks like just sort of homeless.
Well, that's what the clown looked like, though. I mean, he's literally, he looks just like the character from the comics, but before he would break out and become the Violator fully, And so I think it's actually pretty impressive. Work with what you got. If you
I guess so.
Belly, work it into your size,
Sure.
your costume and all that. And also just like, that's exactly what John Leguizamo did in the movie. Just knelt on, on some boots inside the costume. He had to really crouch down that whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So. Next up here, we have Heiko Rosh of Lohmar, Germany. Ooh, an international submission here. And he is a Borg. So it is pretty cool. He's like,
it is a very cool.
We don't understand. Regardless, you will be assimilated. So, but yeah, again, he was able to cross, barriers there because he's going to submit it to Wizard. I'm sure he submitted it to Starlog too.
That's funny. So the next one is a Mr. Fantastic by Josh Beck of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And I will say his Mr. Fantastic arm is marginally better than the Roger Corman Fantastic Four arm. Sorry.
Right on par, I would say.
And what does this say? Now, with my amazing cosmic ray spawned powers, I'll change the color of my shirt mid-sleeve. Oh, I get okay. I get it.
This gets a little darker there with that extra material.
Yeah.
All right. Next up here, though, is actually pretty cool. Another character that was adapted, which is The Max by James M. Gill of Carrolltown, Pennsylvania. And he's actually posed with an is there. This little creature looks like he maybe sculpted himself, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's got the teeth and everything, the big, middle finger blade and all the feathers. So yeah, it's pretty good looking. He says, "Come here, you little whoop." Oh, damn. Squatting after Taco Bell lunch wasn't a good idea. Hope Julie has some wet naps.
Oh, good Lord. Good Lord.
That's the Wizard clipboard in action.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. So next we have The Joker by Eric Von Troy from Santa Monica, California. And it's actually a very good,
yeah, it's like animated series
Joker. I would say, it's very
yeah.
Animated series Joker. It's almost like the Joker, the clownfish kind of smile to it. That the hat looks great. It's really a very good Joker, I will admit. And it says, "Bang, get it? The gun says bang. Ah, this joke is older than Bob Kane."
And next up here, also, this is really, really cool. An alien costume, a Xenomorph by Natasha Mielnik of Evergreen, Colorado. And I mean, it's got the tail. It's a full body suit. It's got actual teeth and everything. I mean, this is really, really cool.
Yeah, and very cool.
The caption's just, Cheetos.
What? Oh, boy. So next up, another very deep pull, Ragman by Ezra Kyung from Glen Ridge, New Jersey. And it's a very interesting Ragman. I'll give it to him. That's pretty cool. It says, "No, I'm not the spider clone. Wait, does it pay more than I'm being paid as a second-rate DC nobody?"
Yeah, because the mask definitely has Spider-Man eyes. Like,
Yes.
I don't know if he repainted something or if that's just how it was put together, but you're like, oh, okay. And I do have to give a shout out to one of our friends and listeners to the podcast who might be watching this, Chad from Horror Movie Barbecue. Ragman was the international title for this film Trick or Treat, which was a very big, cult film featuring a character called Sammy Kerr, but the kid in it was called Ragman, and so the movie was called Ragman internationally. Don't know why, but yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, it's just kind of cool. Next up here, we have Hawkman. So he says, it's Dan Kelly from Prince Frederick, Maryland. What? Where am I? I'm in Wizard now? Gee, can my continuity be any more screwed up? The constant revamps of that character. Now, again, Hawkman, at least classic Hawkman, is kind of always going to look goofy. I've seen how, this DC trailer where he's going to be in that Black Adam movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Marginally better,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like, the wigs are very impressive, though, I have to say. It's just the tights look kind of ridiculous.
The tights, and this guy is not necessarily built for tank tops.
Yeah.
he needs a little bit bigger arms.
So few of us are.
Yes, that's true. Hawkman's a tough character to pull off in live action. Every time it doesn't translate well.
Yeah.
So anyway, I digress. Poison Ivy is up next by Laura Wolf of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it's a very interesting costume. It's very much like you went to Michael's Arts and Crafts and bought a bunch of plastic leaves and glued them to yourself, and she's interesting pose here. But I don't even know if I should read the caption or not. Let's see. Sorry, but we couldn't think of a funny caption for this one, but Laura sure is great, huh?
Cute is how they put it, but yeah, it's interesting because it for whatever reason it reminds me of those Peter Pan pictures, those early Peter Pan illustrations. So all right,
sure.
Next up here.
Sure, that's where you want to go with that. Okay.
Yeah, well, we got Kitty Pryde and Lockheed, this is like a spot-on Kitty Pryde costume.
I would agree.
Cool.
Yes, this is very good.
I'm wondering if that dragon, though, is homemade or if it's one of the dragons you could get at Disney World. Do you know, like they had those? There was some dragon mascot, I thought, for Disney World at one point. So
remember, it could also be a cat that they painted purple.
I'll skip the caption on this one.
Yeah, good call. So next up, we've got the We Can't Believe They Made a Red Tornado costume. Again, another deep pull. We have a red tornado. And we also have a blue beetle. We've got the entire Justice League, a Mr. Miracle, and an Aquaman, and I guess it's an Emma Frost, or is it Ice?
No, that's Ice, because there was fire and ice in the Justice League at that point.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm trying to think, who's that pink character? That's what I was trying to figure out next to Black Canary. I'm like, who is that?
I think it's supposed to be Huntress.
Oh, okay.
She's
Yeah, that one's a little lackluster, but the rest of them are pretty good, especially the Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
Like, that one's pretty good because you have to make that jacket, and the Captain Marvel's pretty great too.
Yeah, the Black Canary is a little questionable with that wig. It's a little odd. I don't know, but it's pretty good. There's a lot. I mean, a big crew of people here got to get, or at least they're not all together, but I think the Blue Beetle is actually very good.
The Blue Beetle guy must have been the ringleader because you can see his body in multiple costumes. Like he's the Mr. Miracle. He's probably the Red Tornado also, it looks like. So
yeah.
Then next to that whole group, we have Grendel Prime, not just a plain old Grendel, by Jeffrey Brown of Scituate, Massachusetts. And it says, "They're not tights. They're just form-fitting. Now take it back." He's pointing a gun, and he's got his whatever that lightsaber type thing the character had. But this is like Grendel was around in last year's costume too, so people just figure we like the Grendel.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, now we're getting down to the end here. So our grand prize winner We've got a Archangel. I'm sorry, Archangel, a Cyclops, a Gambit, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, Psylocke, Rogue, Storm, and Wolverine. And they're actually in two different pictures that I almost thought they weren't together, but I guess they're all one big group. And I think all of them, except for maybe the Cyclops, are very good. Like the Cyclops is a little bit off. I don't know. I mean, it looks very much like the animated series, but I don't know if the goggles are just sort of bothering me a little bit. They don't seem that great.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I gotta say, like, I'm super impressed by that Wolverine. You know, we have all these Wolverine movies, never in the costume, especially never in the brown and tan or the yellow and tan, brown, whatever you want to call it, costume. And this is just the cowl on this costume is amazing. But then just like they built muscles into it that are hairy. Like the costume's got all this like interesting like shading on it and stuff. Like it's really contoured. It's like, I mean, that's what the movie should do. Like when the MCU makes Wolverine, you know, appear somewhere in some cameo, that's the costume style they should go for.
Tell you, like, I don't understand how Hollywood can't do what some of these cosplayers can do.
Yeah.
This Wolverine cowl and everything looks like Wolverine come to life. It's amazing.
Yeah, we got to read here because there's more to these costumes than what we're seeing in the picture. Because it says here, "Stop your grinning and drop your linen. We got us a winner." According to Scott Crawford, the designer of these incredible costumes, quote, "Most of them are basically just spandex. The Wolverine has retractable claws that really go in and out. I've got an electronic flash built into the Cyclops visor, so you can actually hit a button that fits in the palm of your hand and it'll cause it to flash.
Wow.
The visor is made of fiberglass and the Archangel wings are old mini blinds."
I take it back then. That's impressive what they did with the Cyclops mask. Holy cow.
I mean, it's interesting. It's too bad, I guess, they couldn't catch it while flashing when they were taking the picture, because that would have been cool to see it lit up all red. But this is interesting because it says, as for his current projects, Scott is in the process of, quote, working on a Colossus. And about 3 weeks ago, I was in a fabric store and I found some blue fur. So I'm going to try and get a beast suit together too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That is so cool. I mean, and it's interesting because they say that what he wins, in addition to a bunch of like prizes, they're also giving him an Iowa brand stereo system, including a CD player and much more, along with videotapes of horror movies, CD horror movie soundtracks, loads of horror novels. Yeehaw! What a reward! But man, I think like seeing those X-Men costumes, I'm sure just like next year we're gonna see some even more impressive stuff. People
I think so too.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back then, which is crazy. Like,
yeah,
unbelievable. But that was cool. That was actually a very good crop of cosplayers. We've had some that have been pretty hit or miss, and overall, I'd say these are very, very good.
Yeah, well, I feel like there was even a lot of store-bought costumes last year, and so just like the fact that these all are obviously originals, you know, it's just so cool to see like the ingenuity of the people too to find the pieces that would work to bring these characters to life. So yeah.
No, very cool. And you know, normally we usually pick our favorites, but by far that X-Men crop is the best of the best in my opinion.
Yeah, I would just like narrow it down even further. Just that Wolverine. Like I've never seen a better Wolverine costume. There's lots of people online that post their Wolverine, you know, pics from conventions and stuff, and I'm like, you guys got nothing on. I hope he held on to that costume.
Yeah,
I mean, it's somewhere.
He's got retractable claws. Like that's wild. That's pretty amazing.
Crazy. If anybody ever saw you know, somebody in that Wolverine costume, or if you know Scott Crawford, put us in touch with him. We'd love to hear about it. Get more detail on it all.
So if you want to hear more of these or our regular podcast, you can subscribe down below, and you can go to wherever you listen to podcasts on iTunes, and where else are we on? Podbean, you name it. Whatever you look, you can check out our show. We've got tons and tons of great content. We've got our regular issues. We've got mini episodes. We've got bonus issues. You name it. We talk comics like crazy. It's wild. You can also go to our TeePublic store and check out some merch. If you want to get a shirt, that'd be cool. What else you got, Adam?
Well, I'll just tell you that we have more videos always on the way here on YouTube, so you can keep an eye out for those as well. And we always want to hear from you, so you can reach out to us on Twitter at Wizards Comics, on Instagram at Wizards_comics. If you have some cosplay photos, you got a better Wolverine, you show it off to us. So we're willing to take a look here. Maybe we'll give you a prize for outdoing that guy. I don't think it's possible. But until next time, keep your books bagged and boarded.